Now, some of the long-term decisions that are very important as far as your creating wealth is concerned, or creating permanent assets are concerned, or creating long-term assets are concerned, is making an automobile and housing decisions, which are very important, typically for a person who is living in an urban area, because of involvement of investments and interests and so many other things. Now, what we'll be talking here is will be basically designing a plan to research and select a new or used automobile. Let me tell you, very, very important decision, which is taken very casually by people. Ultimately, they end up uh, as a financial loser and jeopardize entire futuristic financial plan. Uh, Wrong purchase of a vehicle or property might result into a disaster. It has resulted into disaster in many urban areas, as we know, especially property buying in a city like Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, or Chennai have caused a lot of pains. Even in other cities, buying from private say, builders, and after having taken finance, not getting delivery on time has been a major crisis for most middle class people. Then deciding on whether to buy or lease a car, then identifying housing alternatives, assessing the rental option, and then performing a rent or buy analysis. This is important for you, for anybody, in fact. Then evaluating benefits and costs of home ownership and estimating how much you can afford to pay for home. Also describe the home buying process or real estate buying process. Then choosing the uh, mortgage financing method that meets your needs. Now, why you need to be so cautious about it? First thing is, what are the guidelines for purchasing decisions? Important thing is the research purchase thoroughly, considering the market and personal needs. Then base the selection on the needs, not on facts, not on recommendations of your neighbors and relatives. Next is negotiating the best price and arranging financing on favorable terms. Then understanding all the terms of sale before signing a contract. Normally, people don't read it. I've seen in India that when they contract a house, the interest rate is around 8%, and after 15 years, entire amount remains nearly intact. Only 80% amount is paid after 15 years, and they have started paying interest rate of 17%, more than 17%. This is what has happened to large number of people, and even public sectors public sector banks are culprits as far as this aspect is concerned. So please be cautious. I'm cautioning almost each one of you, everyone here, everyone who's listening to me, that while taking house loans or car loans, please be very, 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 very cautious. Then maintain a purchase and make necessary changes promptly as and when needed. Now, the factors that would affect the affordability will be what is the down payment? Uh, that is how much you have to make as the first payment. Is it available with you or not? Or even if you even need to borrow that. Then, what is the size of monthly loan payment? Is it affordable? What are the operating costs? What the type of vehicle or property that you have? If it is vehicle, is gas vehicle, diesel vehicle, hybrid vehicle, or electronic vehicle, is new or used? What is the size, body, style, and features? Uh, Other considerations being the trading in or selling, whether it has any kind of resale value or not. What is the fuel economy, and what are the safety measures that it has? Okay. So then you have, when you're going in for purchasing transactions, it's the time for negotiating price. Normally, a sticker price, or what you call as manufacturer suggested retail price, is normally what the seller will give you first. Uh, then the best way for negotiating is to understand the dealer's cost for the car. There might be, uh, many incentives that he might be getting because of his bulk purchases from the manufacturers, but he is not passing on to you. There might be many schemes that are not being passed on to you. There might be many deals that are not being passed on to the final purchaser. Now you have to wait for some time, understand it, and then take a decision, because you have to be in a better position to negotiate the price. And let me tell you, people have been able to negotiate from 5 to 10% less or even more uh, than the sticker price in different market situations. And then when you're closing the deal, sales contract, that is agreement to purchase automobile, that is states different prices, all conditions to offer. Then when you sign any paper on contract or for loan, then it becomes legally binding and you can't do anything about it. So it is better to read it early. Most people don't read agreements of leases, agreement of loans, and agreement related to monthly payments, agreement related to interest rates. Please understand. And there is a close-end lease, there is open-end lease. Now, what are the variables that affect monthly lease payments? Okay, one is the capitalized cost, that is the price of the car that is being leased. Then residual value, what will be the last value of the leased car when you are returning back. What is the money factor, that is the financing rate on lease. And then lease term, whether lease is open or closed, for how long. Then perform and compare the differences between different cars. When the lease ends, the lessee can return the car or purchase the car. It is a part of the agreement. When we talk of housing, and recent, there have been a lot of financial crises throughout the world. Now you have to analyze the history of housing prices. Now, after the demonetization in India, the cost of houses went down because of ready money was not available with the people, which we call as the black money. Okay. Also, the foreclosures, that's a lender attempts to recover loan balances from buyers who have quit making payments by forced sale of home pledged as collateral. Again, the type of housing units are very important. Okay. That means it is a cooperative apartment, it's a building, or it's an individual apartment. Then when rental units you are covering, what are the ranges from duplexes, fourplexes, single family homes, high-rise apartment complexes containing several hundred buildings. Now, benefits of owning a house are that you have security and peace of mind, you have tax shelter, as well as you have inflation hedge, because normally the prices tend to increase. The type of cost again to be considered when we are out buying a house is down payment, the portion of full purchase price provided by purchaser when a house or other major asset is being purchased. And then loan to value ratio, that is maximum percentages of loan that you can take, or the lender or any other banker is willing to loan. Then the insurance costs, then expenses that borrowers pay when mortgage loans is closed. That means there are certain expenses that you have to pay. Now, type of costs that are to be considered again are the property taxes, homeowners insurance that you have to pay. Okay. Again, when we talk of home buying process, then there are real estate short sale, where the sale of real estate property in which the proceeds are less than the balance on loan secured by the property sold. Then you have multiple listing services in a given community, in a metropolitan areas. And there are many other clauses that are there. Okay. Then there are fixed rate mortgages, that means rate of interest and monthly mortgage payments are fixed over a full term of the loan. Then there are cases where rate of interest is adjusted based on the market rate movements. if you call it registered rate mortgages. Now in India, normally even when banks are giving loans, they are giving uh, based on certain percentage above PLR, prime lending loan, which is directly or directly related to the market conditions. Normally, it never when for a loan taken today, it is never reduced. It is always increased over a period of time. So be cautious of the clauses that are there. Okay. So it is very important to understand the loan that are going to get on the houses. Then also try to understand the conventional insured or guaranteed loans. Also, if the interest rate drop, can you switch over to a better loan? That is important. Uh, Important areas to be considered when we are buying a house is or a car is depreciation, the value anchoring, the contract, whether you can lease or purchase, then close-end lease, open-end lease, residual value, capital cost, money factors, purchase options, then whether it's cooperative apartment or a general apartment, and what is the rent ratio, what are the down payments, then loan to value ratio, primary mortgage insurance, that is PMI, the closing costs, uh, homeowners insurance, then the margins, payment cap, and interest rate caps. Uh, Now, basic guidelines finally to RICO are: research the purchase, select the best item based on the needs, buy item after negotiation, maintain a purchase and make necessary repairs, and also leasing as an arrangement in which the lessee receives the use of assets in exchange for making monthly lease payments over a specified period of time. Understand it. And bubble in the real estate prices encouraged increase in construction and extraction of a lot of home equity through home equity loans and financing. So what is important is uh, shop in the market, use right kind of agent, apply for right kind of loan, enter into a good sales contract, and then close the deal. So buying a house is a process that involves a lot of technicalities. So take help of a professional if possible. Um, Otherwise, the risk might be very heavy. But then in India, what people prefer is buying from governmental sources because there isn't much of a variation in the terms of reference. However, when you're buying it from a private owner, there's a lot of risk involved. Please check those risks and then go in for buying. Thank you very much.